Round 3 of the European Le Mans Series gets going now.
Michael, very good start. Find the rhythm, keep the focus.
9 Dames and the 93 as that position reverses again.
He's fighting, nice.
Michael, we box, you stay in car. All good? Question mark. All good, copy, then we go for it.
I felt really good on that second stint. For the first time I thought, okay, I'm going to try and start racing a little bit more as opposed to just maintaining position.
Fassbender to the inside of Gosling.
Not right on hit.
I don't want you to feel bad at all, because you did, again, 99% very good, amazing. It happened, we cannot go back, so we have to think about the positive point.
I don't even think whether, I can fully prepare for Le Mans in the time that we've had to do it. We have a date when the train is leaving the station, and then it's on, so I can only maximize the time that I've got now to hopefully prepare as much as I can for that start date. But for sure, it's never going to be enough. The worst feeling for me, and it was the same when I was acting, is that when it comes to the day of shooting or it comes to the day of the race, that I make a mistake because of lack of preparation.
Muscles, right in here.
I just can't, apply myself 110% to the project and not leave any stone unturned along the way. Obviously, there are going to be stones that are left unturned, and there are areas that we're not going to be able to cover in this time frame.
So you're getting used to?
Not really. I need to go again. But to just maximize every opportunity and take as much experience out of every opportunity. So many other outside factors can happen that are out of your control. So the ones that are in my control, I try to maximize those. And at least if something goes wrong, it's not because I approached it in a way that was lazy in it. It was that I gave it my all. I focused on as much as I could for the things that were in my control.
There's not much more that he could do to prepare for a race weekend. He's working out almost every day. He's trying to be in the simulator as much as possible. I think he's doing the maximum he can, actually. But in the end, it all comes down to seat time. He needs to be in the car day in and day out. Because that's not always possible in the LSR. We're trying to find a lot of different things that we can do with him, like box spare, car control practice.
At the end, there was not enough counter steer.
It's just a way to learn things in a safe environment. We did cup testing with him, as we have done in Monza early this year.
Braking is nice. Stick to your braking points. It's just here the confident thing to go back on power.
And then we also gave him the chance to race the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, because that again is a different experience for him. I mean, it's a super competitive field, and we always knew that he's not gonna run for the top positions. But at the same time, he's learning so much in a short amount of time.
Yeah, much better than yesterday.
And that's why we do those things, just to give him different kind of experiences, which then lead to, a bigger progress in a smaller and shorter amount of time, actually.
Buongiorno from the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza for the annual visit of the European Le Mans Series.
Monza is one of these historic tracks. There's so much history here. Italy is one of those countries that celebrates racing, and racing is such a passion here. You can see that when you drive through the streets on the way to the track. There's so much appreciation for the Bella Macchina. It's infectious to be here and feel that spirit of racing.
If you look at the track layout of Monza, it seems like it's not a very difficult track, but the key in Monza is actually to master those few corners. So if you don't go 100% through a corner, you will automatically lose on the long straight.
It looks quite simple, but it's not. And Monza is also a narrow track. It's an old school track where you have grass on the side. I mean, you can really damage the car quite hard there.
Michael, keep the pace. We need the tire pressures. Keep the pace. Michael, box.
The Ascari, I think, is not a matter of speed, it's just a matter of the way to do it.
I'm not afraid of the right, I'm afraid of getting lined up for the left exit. I knew from the previous race that Sector 1, I wasn't too concerned about that. It was definitely the last sector where I was struggling. The times are not good. You need to stay in the 50s, you know?
Yeah, but
just need to find that rhythm.
He never really understood the Ascari corner.
just make sure it's comfortable. Because if you do it like every time, like on the edge, like far, then it's not nice.
So this was the main topic we always tried to work on together with Andrea.
We need a better exit. The speed inside is left and right, we don't care. Okay. It's the exit is really penalizing the lap time.
It's actually not just one corner, it's like 3 corners in a row.
For some reason, finding a consistent rhythm there for me was an issue.
It wasn't that he didn't know what to do, it was more a rhythm thing and the feeling for the car in that moment that didn't go his way.
You are half throttle, waiting to go for the left, but the right is like is a straight. I mean, it's a corner, but it's the acceleration corner for the left. Because the left is a fast corner.
Yeah.
Accelerates to the right and left. It's all acceleration.
Once you have one corner or maybe 2 corners in one lap where you don't feel 100% comfortable, it's constantly in your mind. And every single time you go around the track, you already prepare for that corner. But if you don't get into the rhythm, you're never going to get it right, because driving for me is not a thinking sport. It's more or less feeling the car and then doing what you think is right in the very moment.
It's annoying.
He really struggled to do what we tell him, you know. So it's always easy in theoretical to know what to do, but if you drive 10 laps and basically none of the 10 laps were correct, you realize that it's going to be a difficult weekend.
A warm welcome to the northern part of Italy, to Lombardy and to Monza for the latest round of the European Le Mans Series for season 2021.
Once it comes to the Sunday, the way he approaches a race is different to the training and practice sessions. So if he gets into his rhythm like he did in the race meets before, find smart ways to solve problems on track, let LMPs pass at the right spot and not lose too much time in traffic, we do have a good shot at a good result for sure.
Ready to check 1, 2, 3. Check.
Pit exit is open for the European Le Mans Series.
Okay, there we go.
9 GTE cars, a mixture of Ferrari, Porsche and Aston Martin.
1 minute more to start the formation lap.
Under starters orders then for the 4th time this year. The red lights are about to be extinguished. 42 cars will blast their way to the first chicane at Monza. Lockups in the midfield, and that was, I'm about to say, Racing Team Turkey, and was struggling to stop their car as a result. Sally Jolic has made contact with the Richard Bradley Algarve Pro Racing car, and Henrik Hedman is caught on the curb as well. They are nose to nose at the first corner.
I think it was contact with Hedman, and it was actually Bradley having a completely separate incident on the inside. They've ended up nose to nose.
Have to go on the grass at the start there to avoid contact. Michael, all okay, just find the rhythm, all good.
Looking at the start, I was quite surprised how good the start went for us, because we started P5 and after turn 1 and 2, Michael was in P2.
The start of Monza was actually my best start, I think, ever. But then I was under pressure pretty quickly. I always knew that Chris was going to be faster than me at Monza, and he's always been fast there.
No worries. Focus on your own. Very good pace so far. Keep doing this. Very good.
Michael Fassbender a bit further back, but only just under 3 seconds away from the sister car at Proton Competition.
Michael, go back to your normal reference point, braking, normal reference point.
66 on the inside of Michael Fassbender, and did Rodrigo Sales actually get through Ascari successfully there? I think he did.
Yeah, got through there and pulled away.
I've been in that situation before where a car's passed me, and I can usually, with the other races that we've had, maintain striking distance that car, but he just, was slowly pulling away from me. And then after that moment, I just felt like I was kind of going backwards.
Another move at Ascari for Michael Fassbender from the Iron Dames car, and Manuel Agosta is not messing around here.
Most certainly not.
Always in the infight with the other Bronx drivers, he was always a guy who made the step back.
For me, from the outside, I always questioned whether Le Castellet would still play a role in his mind, that he didn't want to be too aggressive. He was concentrating on the traffic and the other bronze drivers, whereas I think he would have been faster if he would have just concentrated on his own line and just raced to his speed, because we know that he's capable of racing at a very competitive speed for a bronze driver.
I just didn't have the confidence, and I just couldn't seem to keep a consistent pace, and it was quite frustrating and confusing to some degree for me, but actually just plain and simple, I was just not fast enough.
We are under safety car. Pit entry closed. Leader, slow down. We are under safety car.
Guys, we stay out, 77 cars in the gravel. So stay out, keep this pace. Copy.
It was bad news for our sister car for sure, but it allowed us to close the gap again to the other bronze drivers that had pulled quite a distance ahead of me.
Michael, are you still fresh? 100%.
Delivery is Reno's here. And we are.
That's lap 2 or lap 1? Keep him in. This is the second one. Keep him in, and if we get another position after the time. Anyway, when he's finished the driving time, he's out immediately. We box him in, and this will be very good. So he stays in.
We went to let's say, off sequence, to a quite exotic strategy.
So if my times aren't translating on track, then the engineers are trying to find ways to make up for the time I'm losing on track by choosing a strategy that may be a little bit unconventional. And when they do that, they can go either way for you. We can get lucky or we can get unlucky.
The message now on the screen is for the field to prepare for the pass around. So there'll be GT cars heading to the right-hand lane, if you like, on the racetrack.
Go, take the other and follow the Ferrari.
The instruction for me was to push within the limits, of course, behind the safety car to try and catch up to the leading pack.
What is this?
You nearly crashed.
Oh, it would be good for us to stop as well.
That was fucking close.
There was an LMP pretty much parked on the track in front of me. I just braked as hard as I could, jinxed the car to the left a little bit, and just avoided contact. There was massive flat spotting on 2, if not 4 of the tires.
He had massive vibrations in the car, and we knew that we have to pit him as early as possible, because not only was it almost undrivable, but also a huge risk.
It was impossible for me to drive the car under green conditions.
We box this lap, box, you stay in car, fuel tires.
Unfortunately, we had to pit in the first lap and lost quite some time there because the other cars could just go back on race pace.
So it was a series again of circumstances that led to us losing a large amount of time where we could have actually gained time.
How much of the session left for me? Yeah, 30 minutes, 35 minutes to go. Michael, stopping around 10 minutes. Copy.
And we're not yet at a point where the bronze drivers can be taken out of their cars. So There's a car in the gravel trap now, car number 8 for Sebastian Paz.
Car off the track, carrying the gravel.
And that will need assistance. Now the next part of the game is who is in a position to take advantage in pit stops.
Michael, stay out. You have to stay out. Your driving time is done when you pass the start-finish line. So we're missing 20 seconds, so stay out.
From a strategic point of view, we never got lucky in that race in Monza. Whenever we stopped, it was green. Whenever the other guys stopped, it was some incident on track that helped them.
3, 2, 1. Full course yellow removed. Full course yellow removed.
93 crew, we box this up, box, we do fuel, tires, and we put the tank on. Stop at the board, stop at the board.
Three seconds to full course yellow.
Again, a good time to try and get a pit stop out of the way.
Or did it stop on the full course yellow?
The whole race was a proper streak of bad luck.
We didn't show the pace that we did in the other races, but at the same time we were a little bit unlucky with all our calls. And all in all, I think it was just not our race weekend.
All good?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Because of your pace or why?
Yeah, just couldn't fucking go. Couldn't get the pace.
The beginning wasn't too bad. I mean, you did 51s low. Just after, after Zales passed you. But
I couldn't find any pace into turn 1. And I was braking later. I was braking earlier. It just didn't make any sense.
what happened? Didn't it wouldn't slow you down, or?
I mean, I was doing everything like I felt like I normally do, and every time I was like 0.2 or 1.7 was the closest that I got to that fast lap I did right at the fucking beginning.
On the Sunday after the race, the general atmosphere within the team was too bad, actually. I don't think we did anything wrong, apart from that the overall performance was just not good enough to podium, but at the same time it shows us that we're not there yet. I think we know that we can do a good result, but to perform at the highest level and to be in the position to fight for a podium every single weekend, we still have work to do.
It's hard for me to say what I didn't do right out there.
That's why I asked you also the radio, are you fresh?
Yeah, no, physically I felt great, you know, it's just, usually when I get into the time zone that I can hit, I can hit usually around that time zone, and it was too much like that for me. I was spiking, going down, spiking, and that's the thing that's sort of, I guess, has put me in a bit of a downer personally, but like it's just...
Less positive points today, and you just take it in the backpack and we go to Spa now.
Yeah.
Like this track you love.
I love this track too. It's just, you know, just have to move forward. There was a clear highlight that the tracks that I've been to most, obviously I have a better chance of being consistent. So after Monza, it was clear then, you know, what can I do to not be in that position again in Spa? You know, I've been to Spa now twice. It's a very tricky track. It's a fast track. So it was clear to me that I had to get the Cup car out on track there and invest time there to try and do the best I can and have a few more tools in my pocket.